Good evening, Chicago. Welcome to the Palace Hotel Ballroom. Tonight we have our very distinguished guests hailing all the way down from the Chicagoland area. You know them from your favorite podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to proudly introduce tonight's entertainment, Biscuits and Gravy of the Biscuits and Gravy Odd-yssey.
Hey, there you go. Hey, good to see you. Oh, thank you for that. Wow. You hear that?
Yeah.
That's a lot of...
Man, look at this crowd.
It's awesome. It is amazing to see.
We filled up the whole Palace Hotel Ballroom.
And we didn't even have to pay people to do it.
We didn't.
That's crazy. Hey, thanks everyone for coming out tonight.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for that great introduction, Lucas.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lucas.
Anytime.
All right, so just to give our audience online and in person here the kind of backstory here, we've been wanting to do a live show for really the last 2 seasons. We've wanted to do a live show, and finally we figured this would be a perfect opportunity to do Biscuits and Gravy live for our finale of season 2.
And you might want to also mention that people noticed there was a bit more of a gap in between the 9th episode and this final. It was because we had a lot of logistics.
There was a lot of logistics here to get this all lined up. We had, we got security,
the promoters,
right?
Permits, all the stuff.
Right. You got to. There's a lot of palms getting greased to get this.
Right.
To get this thing done. So
yeah.
The Soup and Crackers podcast had their finale, so we had to let them finish up first.
Right. And,
Which they were a little quicker on booking the venue, but
we did get in before the Bangers and Mash, though.
Yes.
So
well, that's good because you know what, those guys.
They're drinking anyway. They're having the bag by now.
Right.
So.
I mean, what kind of name is that?
Right.
Bangers and Mash.
Sounds like someone's goofy alter egos or something, basically.
I mean, it's like those fish and chip guys. They're kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but I like those two guys.
No, they're good people.
Chris, so what is the topic for this evening?
Well, the topic for the evening actually sprung from a movie that we had talked about. I'm not going to say the movie, but we talked about a movie that we felt we really wanted to do, but we felt it just wasn't a movie that we should devote a whole episode to. It's kind of a cult classic movie that not everyone would even know, and this and that.
But they all need to see it for sure.
But they do all need to see it. So from that sprung this idea to do a cult classic special where we kind of talk about a number of movies that we would consider cult classics. That some people may not know, and we're not going to give away everything about the movies. We're going to give a storyline or whatever, and then discuss them a little bit.
Yeah, we'll just talk a little bit about it. Just put them on your guys' radar.
Yep.
So I got 3, and you have 3, correct?
Yes, sir.
Nice. All right, so I actually want to I'd love to dive right into it, if that's okay with you.
By all means.
All right, do you mind if I go?
By all means.
Okay. Nice, thank you, sir. My first one, it's cult classic, but it's almost like norm now, I think, really. And it's got to be in there, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Classic.
I mean, it's a classic. I mean, I think it's grown bigger than a cult classic now, but it has to be put in there, right? I mean,
well, it started out, it was a cult classic.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time. And then it's become more than a cult classic over the years, but originally it was a cult classic. Not everybody saw it, but the people that saw it just loved it.
I remember I was just out of high school, and I saw it for the first time. I think I actually rented the tape. I'd heard about it before or something like that, and it's like, okay, I got to see what this is. And I had no idea what it was. I just knew it was this weird movie that people talked about. That put that video cassette in, and it was like, it blew my mind. It was like, what is going on here? This was so funny and so bizarre. I mean, I immediately loved it.
Yep.
I mean, and that was also the first time I think I ever seen Tim Curry in anything. Right.
Yeah, that was early for.
Yeah.
That was early for Tim Curry.
Yeah, and so I mean, it was just for me. It was amazing.
And he was outstanding in that. That was
Oh my gosh.
What a performance.
Oh yeah. it's funny to think of him as. When I see him now in other stuff, I still have a little bit of, a Rocky Horror Picture Show in my mind when I see him. Dr. Frankenfurter, right? Yeah, that was his name, right?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So, but it has obviously grown because, like in theaters, they have the whole acting out and everything.
There are theaters, and it became such a cult classic that originally it was the audience that came up with this whole thing that they do, where at different times they. When it starts raining, everybody holds up an umbrella. And when they say toast, people throw pieces of toast at the screen. There's all these things.
Have you ever been to one showing?
I have not actually been to one of those.
No, I haven't either.
And I've wanted to go for years. They do one at one of our local semi-local theaters near us. They do them
I heard
lot.
that when they find virgin viewers of it, like at the theater like that they'll pull them up front and make them do things or try to pull their shirts off. How Brad and Janet got put in their underwear.
Right.
That's a little. It makes me a little leery of going. No one want to see that.
No, nobody want to see that.
Nobody.
Yeah, no, I have heard that too. But these theaters actually will sell you the whole.
Oh yeah, the
kind of a complete kit of the things that you need to throw at the screen or whatever.
Right.
That they'll and I think early on the theaters would get mad at people because they would come in and have to smuggle things like pieces of toast in their jacket to throw at the screen.
I'm sure cleanup wasn't fun for those people.
I'm sure it wasn't.
So I mean, like I said, I don't want to go on about the movie too much, but obviously, and probably most people listening to us right now have seen that movie. But if you have not, it is a classic.
It is a classic. It's a musical.
Yeah.
Can't
go wrong with a musical.
Susan Sarandon.
Which is funny too, because back then when I first saw it when I was a kid, I didn't know who she was. Or I
Right.
didn't know, I was like, I don't know. But now I'm old. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that's her.
Right.
So yeah, it was good. So, what's your first one?
My first movie is you know what? Before I give you my movie, I'm gonna give you a little backstory here.
Okay.
We all know, or most of us have seen the movie Silence of the Lambs back in the early 90s. Introduced won Best Picture in the Academy Awards, introduced us to Hannibal Lecter and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, most people, at that point, that was what they were in. That was when they were introduced to Hannibal Lecter.
Correct.
And this kind of world, okay? But to those who were fans of this cult classic that I'm going to say next, they were first introduced to Hannibal Lecter, that character and stuff, in 1986 in the movie Manhunter, directed by Michael Mann, based on the story Red Dragon by Thomas Harris.
Wait a minute now. Okay. First of all, I've never heard of Manhunter, but didn't they make a movie called Red Dragon?
They did. They made a remake, which is basically a remake of this movie, but it's a sequel to...
Okay, wait. So
they made that after Silence of the Lambs.
Red Dragon came out, which was a remake of this Manhunter?
It was basically a remake of this Manhunter, yes. Which Manhunter was made in 1986, before Silence of the Lambs was ever even thought of.
Same character name and everything?
It was Hannibal Lecter was the
guy's name.
No, the bad guy. The Tooth Fairy was actually the killer. The bad guy. He's the bad guy.
The bad man.
He's the bad guy. Fire. Bad.
Beer good. Fire bad.
So anyway, in this movie Manhunter, it's the Tooth Fairy is the serial killer, and this character Will Graham who was played by Edward Norton in the Red Dragon movie.
Okay.
In this movie, he was played by William Peterson, which you would know from the original CSI, the Las Vegas one.
Oh, yeah.
Grissom.
Yeah.
Was the character. So William Peterson played the character of Will Graham, who was hunting the Tooth Fairy and goes to see Hannibal Lecter in his cell.
So he's in the same kind of thing.
It's the same kind of like Silence of the Lambs. He's in the cell. Not as big of a production, not as big of a movie.
Who was Hannibal Lecter?
Actor by the name of Brian Cox played
Okay.
Hannibal Lecter.
Okay.
You'd known him from a bunch of things. I'm trying to think of what. I know he was in the X-Men movies. I think he played the guy who put. I forget the character's name, but the one, and I'm sure some of our listeners will be probably yelling at their radio right now. But the guy who originally put all the metal in Wolverine.
Oh yeah,
that guy. Like when he goes and he tries to hunt him down and get revenge for doing that to him.
Yeah.
It's that actor as Brian Cox. Anyway, so he plays Hannibal Lecter years before Silence of the Lambs was ever made.
I don't know, man.
Many people knew this movie. This had a cult following for years.
All right, hey, listen, I haven't seen this movie. You guys out there in the audience, come on, give me a feedback here on what I've never heard about this movie. Anybody?
Manhunter's a classic.
Oh yeah, okay. You're just saying. Who's that?
Manhunter's a classic. That guy knows what he's talking about.
Okay, settle down there, buddy.
Okay.
Hey, okay, hey, sir, could you please? There's a mic. Look, we have a mic set up right here. Could you please? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, right there. Come on. Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Is this too loud?
No, you're fine.
You're good.
You're fine. Hi. What's your name?
My name is Greg.
Hey, Greg. How you doing? Hey, I knew a Greg.
Hey,
$5 beer, Greg.
There
But
you
that's
go.
not you. I can tell.
No, that's not me. Wrong Greg.
Okay. Oh, okay, Greg. Obviously, you chimed up. This Manhunter.
Oh, it's a classic.
yeah.
I'd say a cult classic.
you're just saying. Chris, do you know this man? Is this?
No, I do not. I've never met Greg in my life.
Okay.
No, I've never met Chris behind the theater with $20 to say this. He did not do that for me.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Go ahead and sit back down.
All right, thank you. I still need that 20,
Okay.
Chris, when you get a chance.
Yep. I'll sell it to you.
I'm sorry, Chris. I just had to find out
That's
because I've never heard of it. So
That's quite all right there,
all right,
Dennis.
Go on.
So anyway, that's basically the story. That's the movie. It is a
Yeah, because I had not seen Red Dragon or Manhunter, so I don't know anything.
So this like I said, this movie came out way before, and it has great. It's a great movie. It really is. Not like I said, not of the theatrical quality of.
Sure.
The later movies, because
Yeah.
obviously they had more money thrown at them.
Yeah, right.
So that's why they made the sequel, Red Dragon, so that they could keep the continuity with Anthony Hopkins as.
Would you recommend?
Hannibal
Obviously,
Lecter.
you'd probably recommend seeing for someone who hasn't seen either movie to see Manhunter first and then Red Dragon.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
Just see how they redid it.
You know what? Since Manhunter came out first, I would actually watch that. That would be the first movie I see.
Yeah.
If for some reason there's someone on this podcast that hasn't even seen Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah.
I would say see Manhunter first, and then see Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Red Dragon's a good movie, but it's a remake. This was the original.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's cool. I learned a little something there. So thank you very much.
Oh, and you remember in Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
I don't know if you remember Scott Glenn
Scott Glenn
from Urban Cowboy, ate the worm and everything. Scott Glenn.
Okay. This is where you're
He
gonna
played-
This is where you're gonna give me a cross-eyed look. I haven't seen Urban Cowboy.
He played. Oh God, again.
Hey, settle down, guys. So what? I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Hey, Babu yourself. Get out of here. I'll see it eventually.
Scott Glenn in Silence of the Lambs played Jack Crawford, and where it was like Clarice's boss who
Okay.
sent her
Oh,
to
yeah.
go see. In this movie, in Manhunter, Jack Crawford is played by Dennis Farina. Remember Dennis Farina from the kind of mob kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I know you know Dennis Farina.
Yeah. Well,
His
I know
name's
it-
Dennis, so you
I know his cut is in Danny Oatmeal.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. That was pretty quick. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. No problem.
I'm here all week.
Okay, listen. I got a second one. You know what? You wanna go to a commercial first?
Yeah, you know what? Probably a good time. Let's go to a commercial.
Yeah. All right, guys, settle down and here's a nice commercial.
Come on, we got to pay the bills. We got
to pay the bills.
We got to keep the lights on in here,
We
guys.
didn't charge you guys a lot to get in here,
Yep.
so. All right, thanks. Let's go to commercial.
Tonight's episode of Biscuits and Gravy Live is brought to you in part by Back to Pap.
All right. I gotta get the X-Wing over there. Then I gotta go pick up the Ewoks from Endor. All right. I'm almost out of blue milk. I should run to the market.
Hey, Luke, how's it going? You seem full of energy. I was just getting worried about you. You know, you're looking pretty run down for a while there.
Hey, thanks for noticing, Han. I just wasn't sleeping well. I developed a bad snoring habit.
Oh, that can be killer. I still struggle with that myself sometimes. What did you do for it? Why are you feeling so good now?
I got a new back-to-pap.
Like back to tank?
Yeah, sort of. But this is just for your head. Here, watch this. I'll show you.
Okay, let's see.
First, you put on the helmet. It's kind of heavy.
Next, you turn the back fluid intake valve.
That looks uncomfortable.
Next, you put the mask around the breathing apparatus.
Yeah, that seems great, kid. Hey, you know, I'm gonna go see where Leia went off to. Ben is in levitation class, and it's a rare chance that we get time alone anymore. I mean, I love the kid, but I swear he's gonna be the death of me. Welcome back, everyone out there listening, and welcome back to you, lovely studio audience. Well, I guess it's not a studio audience. I guess it's
This is a
yeah.
this is an auditorium. This is the Palace Hotel Ballroom. I mean,
know there's a lot has happened here before. There's Heidi ho.
Heidi ho.
All right. Okay, Chris. Got a little special treat for you. We got someone on hold.
Really? Who?
We have German Nina on hold.
Wow.
I know.
That's awesome.
Cool. All right. Let's, Lucas, could you patch her through? Hello. Hey, how you doing, German Nina?
I'm all right. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Nina. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm excited that I'm on the phone with you guys. Sorry I can't be in the studio with you, but live.
Well, you know, we wish you could make it too, but we understand you have other obligations. But we're glad that you're able to call and at least, touch base with us.
Of course.
I wanted to bring up a question to you. In the previous episode, we talked about we have someone in Germany downloading us.
Two people, actually.
Two
downloads every episode.
So somebody in Germany is downloading, and I was thinking,
Super exciting.
yeah, I know it is. So I was thinking maybe you have relatives in Germany that maybe you've mentioned the podcast to?
So I do have relatives in Germany still. My brother and his family live there. But I have to be honest with you guys, as much as I like listening to you, I have not told anybody in Germany about it. Well, like my little American secret. So you have actual genuine German fans that found you on their own. This is exciting.
That's actually incredible. We actually do have unsolicited German listeners.
And actually, what you just said, I think we're going to have to make Nina up a shirt that says "Her Little American Secret."
Right.
Biscuits and gravy.
Yeah. Wasn't that your nickname in high school?
That was my nickname in high school.
Okay.
Oh, that's terrific, Nina. That's great. Listen, I'm sorry you couldn't make it out here tonight, but thanks for calling in and letting us know all that.
Sure, anytime. Keep up the good work. It's always fun to listen to you guys. You have so much fun bantering with each other and discussing serious and non-so-serious topics.
Thanks, Nina.
It's enjoyable.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Nina.
All right, you have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was good. It was really good to finally hear from German Nina.
It was, and live on our live show.
I know.
What do you guys think about that? Isn't that great, audience?
Yeah, there you go. See, we didn't make her up. See, I told you, we have people out there. So, I only wish you could have been here tonight. No, but next best thing.
That's okay.
Phone
Yep.
call. So, yeah. All right. It's funny. The last commercial was what was it?
Back to Pap.
Back to Pep. All right, everyone's gonna enjoy this one, but me with my words and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bacta tank, right? Is what it would have been in Star Wars. I always called it a bantha tank. Bantha.
Yeah, Bantha's the thing
Yeah, I know.
that they rode around.
Yeah, I know
in
what
the
those
desert.
are.
Big-
Bantha. I thought it was like bantha tank. Bacta. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah, go figure. This guy. Right?
Yeah. Well, sometimes, I hear things one way,
Yeah, I hear things.
I hear things, Johnny.
I hear things.
What kind of things? I hear things.
They're things.
All right, who's up? I'm up?
You're up.
I'm up.
What's
Okay.
your next movie?
All right. Now listen, I know there's going to be plenty of people out here in the audience that are going to love or agree with me immediately. And this has kind of become a franchise, but I would include the entire franchise, but I'm just going to pick the first one, the cult classic, Sharknado.
Shark.
Yeah, right.
Nado.
All right. For Sharknado. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it's got a very believable plot line,
Yes.
So right off the bat,
Yes.
it's got a lot of credibility.
Sharks that fly through the air because of a
they're not-
tornado.
Well, yeah, but they're not flying on their own accord. It's the weather that's
True.
So-
That often happens.
no that.
That's,
I remember the first time I saw it. Lucas, do you remember? Did I see it first and then made you boys watch it, or
No, I think we all seen it together
for the first time?
because
I
we
mean-
were just scrolling through Netflix and we said, "Hey, what's this movie about?"
Yeah, and I mean, you remember we watched that movie, and maybe it's such a dear place in my heart because of sitting there with my boys just laughing our butts off about this Sharknado stuff and the way they did it, and it was just fabulous. So I'm in love with it.
It is a very interesting movie, set of movies, because what are they on, like 12 now?
No,
or-
I think they did 6. No, they stopped then or something. Some got a little like
Silly? You think?
Yeah.
Maybe? Just some of them. They didn't all get silly, right? Right? I get agreement on this.
they're-
not all
okay,
silly.
all right.
Some of them are quality,
No,
works of
there's
cinematic genius.
There's acceptable silliness, and then there's silliness. So you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, you do. I see. Okay, whatever. So listen, I don't really have much to say other than it's just a fun watch.
If give us a brief synopsis of why do they call this thing Sharknado
okay,
for anybody who hasn't
yeah.
seen the franchise?
So it's basically bad weather's rolling in, and these typhoons that turn into tornado kind of things are coming in off the ocean, and the twirling motion of this cyclone is pulling fish up out of the water, which is actually a basis of truth that I think this movie was based on. It has happened in places where typhoons out in the ocean has drawn fish up, and when it hit landfall and started petering out, fish started dropping from the sky on the land. Someone thought, oh, sharks, cool. Well, that would be a cool idea. I don't think it was sharks, but so it has actually happened. It has physically happened. But in the movie, it pulls up all these sharks and it starts raining them down.
And drops them probably like 5 miles inland, still dropping sharks.
And still attacking
and
people.
still attacking, yeah. In one of them, now correct me if I'm wrong here. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
In one of these films, doesn't someone go flying through the shark holding an
Chainsaw?
an operating chainsaw
Oh, yeah.
to cut himself through the back
What
of
was
the
his name, Luke? The main protagonist, Finn?
Finn.
His name's Finn. Fitting, right?
Fitting.
And that girl from 90210 is in it.
Which girl? There's a bunch of the girls.
She's blonde in this one, but
The one that had the robotic arm.
yeah,
later?
and she had the lightsaber on the arm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really?
it's yeah.
I don't remember that. I didn't see all of these
And
like you have.
And didn't she give birth inside a shark? And she cut
gave
herself
birth
out.
inside a shark.
Did she really?
And
she
cut
kinda-
herself up
and
with
then-
a little chainsaw arm.
Yeah, a little chainsaw out of the shark from the inside. where
Wow.
She gave birth. I mean, come on.
That is-
who cannot sit there and watch
She
that?
gave
and think-
birth inside
Might
of
I
a
add-
shark.
Might I
Yeah.
add the shark was falling from space as well?
Oh yeah, because,
Really?
Because that one took place on a space shuttle.
Yeah.
There's actually a shark. Yeah.
So they have enough oxygen inside of the shark body
Yeah, well,
to sustain a life for their trip.
Well, because sharks have several air bladders within them.
I gotcha.
Where they can store that stuff. So
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, then that makes complete sense now.
You know, that was my nickname in high school.
What's that?
Air bladder. Yeah.
I thought that was your current nickname.
At times. Well, actually, if anything, that should be your nickname, air bladder.
Touche.
All right. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to go on too much about that one because it's just a silly, fun movie. The more people to watch it with, the better, because it's if you're watching by yourself, it's kind of like, what did you do wrong on a Friday night that you're sitting there watching by yourself? But you get a good group of people together with you, and it's a blast. I'm sure some alcohol might help too.
Oh, something's got to save. Something's got to save it, and I'm thinking that might just be the.
Yeah. Well, when me and my boys watched it, none of us were drinking, and we called it when we started making a ritual. It was called Man Cave Weekend. The girls would be doing something. My daughter, my wife, and the three boys. We'd be in the living room, and we'd shut all the blinds, and we'd get in our underwear and get snacks and turn on the TV and watch the next installment of Sharknado, and that's America right there for you.
That's America.
All right, so that's my second one. What you got?
All right, for number 2, I am going to go. I'm going to stick with silly.
Oh, good.
Not quite as silly as your movie there, but it's pretty darn silly nonetheless.
Okay.
And this is a cult classic.
Okay.
The Wet Hot American Summer. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie.
Okay. The title I know, and I might have seen it. Tell me about it, and I'll let you know.
Okay. Movie came out in 2001. Written by David Wayne and Michael Showalter, who are two guys from this kind of group, comedy group that I believe they came out of Canada, which you get a lot of funny people out of Canada.
Sure.
Our neighbors to the north can be quite witty.
Oh, yeah.
But these are guys that actually came up with the show. I don't know if you remember, in the early 90s, there was 2 seasons on MTV of a show called The State. Very similar to a Kids in the Hall kind of sketch comedy show.
Okay.
These guys were from there. There's quite a few people in this movie that are from The State, because it's that whole group. And basically, it's like a Meatballs. It takes place at a summer camp in 1981. And the brilliant thing about it is, first of all, it's just completely silly. Okay, so you have all these guys from the State show. You have all these comedians. You got Janine Garofalo's in it. You got David Hyde Pierce from Frasier.
Yeah.
Then you have Christopher Maloney, who played Stabler in Law and Order. Benson and Stabler with Mariska Hargitay, and Stabler was like the real serious cop with her.
And this is a comedy.
And this is a comedy, and he plays the cook.
Okay.
Okay, wearing a bandana, like a do-rag, and doing like karate moves. And he has a can of.
Is this where he spits in the food? Like
he has a can of mixed vegetables.
Yeah.
That's a character in the movie. It talks. So like the lid of the can actually opens up and talks to him.
Okay, wait. Is this where something gets sent back and he spits in it?
I don't recall that happening.
Okay, then I'm thinking. Okay, I'm just trying to see if this is the movie I'm thinking of, but I guess
I
not.
gotcha. I don't recall that happening.
Okay.
Great cast. Early young Amy Poehler, Molly Shannon. So we got some Saturday Night Live alumni in there. Bradley Cooper, young Bradley Cooper, and young Paul Rudd, both in this movie, with great performances.
Oh, I think I have seen this.
Paul Rudd is it's like classic Paul Rudd.
Oh, that's the one where he spits in the soup or something, because
I can't remember that.
Well, but Paul Rudd is like working at the restaurant, or he's a waiter or something?
No, he's not a waiter.
What is he?
Well, everyone else there is basically just like all of those characters are all like counselors, like camp counselors. It's summer camp. It's a Meatballs. It's a summer camp.
Okay, wrong movie. Never mind.
Yeah, wrong movie.
Okay.
So they're all camp counselors.
All right.
And like I said, Christopher Maloney, he plays the cook in the kitchen at the summer camp. The best thing about this, number one, is it's hilarious seeing this cast of characters. Now, mind you,
sure. Well, who you listed?
but mind you, this is 2001.
Yeah.
And they're all playing, all these people I've mentioned to you, in 2001,
Yeah.
which were probably in their late 20s at that time.
Right.
They're all playing like 16-year-old camp counselors.
Yeah.
Okay. Except Janine Garofalo, she's like a little older.
Yeah.
And David Hyde Pierce, he's a little older too. But all the rest of those people, they're supposed to be playing like 16-year-old camp counselors. Uh-huh. This movie was such a hit.
Yeah.
It spawned two limited series on Netflix. First, a prequel series, because this movie, Wet Hot American Summer, all takes place on the last day of summer camp. So the entire movie, is one day. And it starts, and they play on that because it's almost like they do things that would take an obnoxious amount of time. And it's basically like 30 minutes later, and they're walking back. And they're walking back from doing something that clearly took a long time. And they're just like, it's like a half hour later. And they keep telling you what time it is throughout the movie. Like, it'll be like 10:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m. So,
yeah. No, I'm going to have to see this.
So it spawned a prequel series, a one-season prequel series called The First Day of Camp that came out like, let's see, it came out in 2015. I didn't have the exact date, so I wrote it down.
So
in 2015, so 14 years later, that's what's the most hilarious thing is 14 years later.
Don't tell me the same cast.
All these same actors played the same characters from like
when they're older,
60 days before the first one, when they're 14 years older than they already were obnoxiously old.
And this was a series, a one-season series.
8 episodes.
8 episodes, which
Yes.
is the first day of camp.
Which was the first day of camp. Oh, yes, the first day of camp was 8 episodes. Then in 2017,
yeah, I'm watching this one.
Then
I gotta see this.
at the end of the actual movie, you know, it's closing. They're closing up. They say, you know what? Let's get together in 10 years from now.
Okay.
When should we take? When should we get? Let's get together right now. In 10 years from now, what time? 9:30. Let's make it 9:30. I think I
Okay.
have something at 11. So let's make it at 9. You know. So let's meet. So anyway, in 2017, they made another series that was another 8 episodes. That was 10 years later, after the original movie, and it's still a day. So it all takes place in one day on that 10. I mean,
that's good.
obnoxious to the point where some of the characters were still in their cities that they live in.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the movie, when it's morning.
Yeah.
And they travel to the camp and still don't push it into more than a day.
That's classic.
It is classic.
That is awesome. I have to see that.
The movie and the series is altogether is outstanding.
You put this in the cult classic, the cult state?
classic.
I mean, meaning
because
it's
you
not-
don't even know about it.
Yeah, but you know what?
I know, but it's not.
Even though we're about a podcast about movies,
This is really a cult
There's a lot
classic.
of movies I don't know.
No, it's a cult classic.
Although I've seen
There's
Top Gun, people, and I love it. Top Gun, yeah.
Woo! Yeah, he feels the
Dangerous.
need for the speed now.
I'm flying into the danger zone, baby. All right, so
No, it was definitely a cult classic because there's a lot of people that, tons of people that never heard
Yeah.
of the original movie. Tons.
yeah.
It's not like
I'm
it
gonna
wasn't-
watch that.
And it did horrible at first.
Really?
It was like reviewed as like one of the worst movies ever. But then there's some people that went on and like said, this movie is one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Like there is, like notable people have said this. Like this movie changed my life. That's.
Very
It's so
interesting.
like stupid funny.
Okay.
Stupid funny.
Yeah. No, that's good. Well, the cast right there tells you. You
it's
know.
definitely something I recommend.
Okay, I will.
To
I
anyone
will.
to see.
That sounds good. I'm gonna have to see
If you
that.
like silly.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be a fan
Who
of
doesn't
silly.
like silly? All right. Well, that's excellent. Listen, Chris, do you mind switching gears here for just a sec?
Sure, I'm all about switching
We got
gears.
that mic set up right there, and we got a couple people, or
Yeah, let's go.
Can we get one at least?
Yeah, who wants to talk?
Hi.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I always
go up
can't
there.
believe I'm here. Okay, my name's Kyle Sanford, and I found you guys this season, and so I haven't gone back and listened to the first season yet, but I love what you guys do. My God, it's so different. I just wanted to say I love it.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kyle.
Very enthusiastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a question for us?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what would you say your mission is with your show? I mean, what is end game for you guys here?
Well, Kyle.
Oh, you know what? That sounds like that's a very
That's a
deep
great question.
It's deep, though, man.
Yeah, it is.
Our mission. Well, I mean, we've talked about how we wanted to do an outlet for our what we think is creativity, but our mission, for me, entertainment and ultimately to make people smile and laugh, and I think and maybe bring some information to light about some movies or something. So that would be my answer, Chris.
I would agree. It's more of an outlet for me and for us to express our creativity.
It smells like you just did
in a way
express your creativity.
That's the donkey.
Gotcha. Okay.
In a way that we could, get our creativity out there and maybe bring a little joy to some lives.
Yeah,
in the process.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So
we're not looking to be millionaires.
No.
I mean, if it should happen,
sure, some fame and money would be nice.
Right.
But ultimately,
we're not gonna.
We do it for the people.
Yeah, we're not gonna refuse it
and ourselves.
But yeah.
So I hope that answers your question, Kyle.
Yeah, it does. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here, and I can't wait to go back and listen to your first season, because I'm loving this one and happy to be part of this live episode. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Kyle. That's great. I love it. So much enthusiasm.
Yes.
Enthusiasm. All right. Looks like we got one more.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You, sir.
Yep.
Hey guys, I'm Doug. First, I want to say I love your podcast. Sometimes in the evenings when I really just need to unwind, and as you could imagine, I have a tough time unwinding sometimes. So I listen to your podcast and it just...
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah,
Take your time.
Calm down. It's
That's
not a big deal.
It's
Go
okay.
ahead. All right. Collect your thoughts. Go ahead. I know it's a little nerve-wracking.
Thanks,
but it's okay.
guys. It's all these lights and the crowd and everything. It's really freaking me out. So, getting back to my question, I wanted to ask you guys where you find all those far-out sponsors you use.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I
it
like
is.
that. Well, actually, Doug, it's down in the lobby of the studio. There's a vending machine that we go to, and it just got random commercials in there, and we'll just put our 45 cents in. And no, I'm joking. Sorry.
You almost had me believing you.
Well, it looked like I almost had Doug believing.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure Doug is believing you there, Doug. No, Doug.
No, just joking, Doug.
You know what? We have a whole team of sales folks that contact different companies and try to get sponsorship, commercials and things for our show. So they're working around the clock.
And then at a certain point, there's some advertisers like Davenport Dairy. Now they come to us because we've got a relationship with them. So
Right.
So some are starting to get on board where we have a relationship with them and don't have to seek out other ones. But so yeah,
Wow.
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
No, thank you guys. That eggnog with pulp is incredible. All right. This is a great evening. I'm going to go and try to find my seat. Where did it go?
All right. Hey, Stan, could you help Doug to a seat? Find a seat. Thanks, Stan.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. All right.
Yeah. Safe travel home.
Yeah, definitely. Sleep it off if you need to.
Yes.
All right, cool.
We might need to give Doug the key to the green room.
Yeah, maybe.
Get a couch in there. I'll lay down for a bit.
Awesome. So I'm eating a red vine. Sorry.
Oh, red vine, the poor man's Twizzler. I like it.
The wise man's Twizzler.
The poor man's Twizzler. It's like red vines is
Absolutely not.
Red vines is like the Mr. Pibb of Dr. Pepper.
Red vines blow away Twizzlers, and I think we've had this discussion before.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe.
All right. Hey, is it time to go to a commercial?
Yeah.
All right.
Why not? You know what? It was a good plug there from
Right.
Doug for
It's a good
sponsors.
segue. Thanks, Doug, for that segue.
You know, you might become the new king of the Segway.
There you go.
Take over Dennis's spot.
Yeah, I'm slipping. All right, let's go to a commercial.
Biscuits and Gravy Live is brought to you in part by XYZ Marketing.
Hello, welcome to XYZ Marketing Agency. What can I do for you?
Hi there. I'm looking for someone to help me market my new product. It's an anti-inflammatory cream.
Great. You've come to the right place.
Now, listen, I'm not trying to offend you, but can you tell me some of the other accounts you've worked on? I just want to be sure that this will be a good fit.
Sure. No offense at all. You may remember the ad campaign a few years back for the Metro Boxer Briefs.
Oh, yeah, I do. I actually bought some of those. I'm wearing them now.
We came up with that campaign for their CEO, Robert Schartz.
Interesting.
You may also remember the ads for the local security system installers, Safety Home.
Oh, I totally remember those.
That's a female-owned business. Their president, Mary Jo Hyman, hired us for the job.
That's great. Now, anyone else I should know about?
Well, this one may be a bit risque, but we did run a full campaign for Splendor, the sexual enhancement drug company.
I'm actually not familiar with that one.
Yeah, our client, Jeffrey Moorhead, is the inventor of that product.
Oh, well, I think I've heard enough. I think I'd like to hire you guys to help me promote my new product.
That's great. We would be proud to work with you and your new anti-inflammatory cream. I never did catch your name, though.
Oh, it's Harvey. Harvey Cockburn.
Welcome back to Biscuits and Gravy Live. We want to thank our sponsors, Back to Pap and XYZ Marketing. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, Lucas.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone out there. All right. Yes.
Welcome back. Thank you, as always, for your support of our sponsors.
Yes. Thank you very much.
It means a lot to them and us.
It helps us keep going here.
Yep.
So.
All right, Dennis, I believe it's your turn for the next, your final movie
my
of
final
the night.
movie, which actually was the Catalyst movie.
We're finally to the Catalyst.
And I think a lot of people might not know this movie.
There's going to be a lot of our listeners that do not know this movie. And they all should know.
And we're not going to talk too much about it because we really want you to just see it. But we'll give you a quick little thing. But it is called Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep.
That's right. Weird name, I know. Okay. So, basically...
Oh, why don't you give us the backstory on how you actually came... You came across this movie first. I had never heard of it. You had never heard of it. And you just kind of...
it was one of those things...
Happened on it.
It's one of those things one night, you're watching TV late at night. I think it was, back in the days when I had cable and HBO or Showtime or something, some pay channel. And, you're just... scanning through there, and I seen Bubba Hotep, and I was like, what's this? You know, it was just about to start, and the name was intriguing. Okay, kind of weird. Put it on, and immediately gripped me. It was like grabbed hold of me. It was like, oh yeah, this is my kind of movie.
And you told me about it.
Yeah,
and I had to go watch it. And
well, here's the thing too. Like everyone, I don't know, probably knows. You could tell, Chris, you're a lot more knowledgeable at movies than I am, and in our friendship, you've turned me on to way more movies than I have ever turned you on to. This is my only feather in my cap where I feel like I've really said, here, this is something you need to see that you've watched and gone, wow, this is good. So this is my only, like I said, feather in my cap. But yeah, so then I turned Chris on to this, and it's a movie. Yeah, definitely if you're an Elvis fan, you're going to like it, because the premise is Elvis did not really die. He faked his death, so to speak, in a way. But you'd have to watch to see exactly how. So basically, it's a elderly Elvis in a nursing home, you know, practically bedridden, but it's Elvis, and no one.
Complete with the gold sunglasses and the sideburns and everything.
Hey man, a little gray, but hey man, it's good.
And who plays Elvis?
The guy from
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Army of Darkness guy.
Yes,
and he did a great job.
Oh, he's an outstanding Elvis. Yeah. It's great.
So you know, it's basically a story about that, and a friend of his there that is an elderly JFK. Except because the CIA, according to this JFK, had his death faked. They took his brain out, put a little bag of sand in his head, and dyed his skin black. So he's a black elderly JFK.
Yes, played by Odd-yssey Smith.
Yeah, that's him. And so that is Elvis's sidekick in this movie. And that's funny enough as it is, right?
Yes.
But then you introduce into this is where the hotep comes from. You introduce into this scenario a soul-sucking zombie mummy who dresses in kind of cowboy wear.
Yes.
You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Full with spurs and everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can hear him click, 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 click down the hallway with his spurs on it.
So you have those three components, and then the you know,
who is terrorizing this nursing home, because people in a nursing home, let's face it, are of the speed that most horror movie villains move at, which is usually slow.
And
so
do we tell them that, you know, so this zombie is killing people?
Yes,
sucking their souls out through certain orifices
through their backside,
through their bum. Because that's a classic line that this Elvis says in here is you know, man, I couldn't let no zombie suck my soul out of my
bleep.
Yeah, you know, so it's them trying to combat this zombie.
The movie itself is just,
it's fantastic.
It's so the idea for it is just great. It's one of those movies that I watch and think, God, why couldn't I come up with this idea? It's just so brilliant.
Yeah, make it come, and it's just done so well. It's so bizarre. I mean, and to me, this is a real cult movie because I don't hardly ever hear anything about it. You never hear about it. You never see anything about it. I mean, not that I'm, you know,
this is
but you really don't.
This is extremely a cult classic.
And the sad part of it was at the end of the movie, you know, when the credits are rolling, they show a coming soon. It was
Bubba Nosferatu.
Yeah, and so it was like there's going to be another spin-off of that. And obviously they never made it. So. But
no, there were a lot of actual actors. I know Paul Giamatti was one of them that were fighting for the sequel to be made. I remember reading stuff about that. He was a big fan of it, and there was a number of actors that were big fans, and they were really pushing for this sequel to be made, and it just never has. Maybe someday, maybe in our lifetime,
That would be great.
We saw the Cubs win the World Series finally,
So
so
it
who
could
knows?
happen.
It could happen. We could get a Bubba Hotep sequel.
Oh yeah, I mean, to see an elderly Elvis with a walker, doing some karate moves,
doing
like
the
on
karate
stage.
moves,
Wow.
and you hear like the bones cracking while he's doing the karate moves. It's so great. It's just so great.
I mean, I don't know what your last movie is going to be, but up to this point, I'd have to say to all you people out there and everyone listening on the podcast, if you watched one movie out of all these movies we tell you about tonight, in my opinion, it is this movie. Now, I don't know what your third movie is, but I'm got to stand by. I think you got to watch this one first.
There's that's definitely one of the tops right there.
Yeah.
That is definitely.
Yeah.
But please watch more than one.
Oh yeah,
Because there's.
You should watch them all. Really,
You should watch them all. Really. Maybe not Sharknado. No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, I know that's not your favorite. But come on.
No. That's just a great movie.
Yeah, very good. So that's my last and final. I guess that's both last and final.
Yes. Country and Western.
We got both kinds.
Both kinds of music.
Okay, so what's your last movie, Chris?
All right, my last movie is going to be a movie called Old Boy.
Oh boy.
Yes, this is a 2003 movie, not to be confused with the 2013 version of this movie, which I'll get to in a moment. But the original 2003 version of this movie called Old Boy was actually a Korean film.
Okay.
Directed by Park Chan-wook, and starring Choi Min-sik, Yoo
How long?
Zi-tae, and Kang Yi-jung.
How long has he been sick?
Hey!
All right.
So,
settle down. I'm not a
anyway,
comedian.
Korean film, 2003. So the plot takes place. It's basically you open up and there's this. The main character is in like a police station,
Okay.
and gets out of the police station, and one thing leads to another, and he ends up waking up in a room.
Okay.
Okay, he's locked in this room. There's no way to get out. And he's held there for 15 years.
And he doesn't.
And daily, they give him food,
But not tell him what's going on.
they don't tell him what's going on. They don't talk to him. They do different stuff. They knock him out by giving him gas and this and that. They do different things, blah, blah, blah. So after 15 years, he gets out, tries to get out, and they just let him out. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole plot after that is he's got to try to figure out who had him there and why. Well, he figures out who had him there, but the question is, why did this guy have him? And the guy actually poses this to him. I don't want to give much of this movie away because it's just great, and there's twists, and it's a movie that you don't want to tell too much about.
Okay.
But it's a revenge movie,
Okay.
and it is a revenge. Like, that is the ultimate goal in this is
Okay.
revenge.
All right.
Now, if you're not someone who likes to read your movie lines on the bottom of the screen,
Yeah.
and you don't speak Korean, you may want to check out the remake. Was made in 2013.
Okay.
And it starred Josh Brolin and Elizabeth Olsen, which was the Scarlet Witch.
Is it close to the?
It's very close. Few subtle differences here and there, but it's very
not
close.
enough to break it?
Not enough to break it. If you're
Okay.
not someone who wants
All
to
right.
read, it's actually it's a quality movie. It's a quality remake. So I would just recommend seeing the remake.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you just want a more.
I mean, I
Ameri-
don't mind watching or reading
Right, and
subtitles.
there's something pure
but-
about this as an original.
Mm.
There's something pure about watching the actual Korean version. So
Okay.
I'd recommend that if you can, but if not, and also your ability to see, depending on what platforms you have available on
Right.
your TV, and
Okay.
your ability to see the original is going to be more difficult than your ability to see
Okay.
the remake from 2013 with Josh Brolin, and you know what I mean, these major
Sounds like a good one
major
too.
stars.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's great. great movie, great storyline, great twist. It's just
So this is obviously not a silly comedy. This
it's
is
brutal,
serious...
and it's brutal. And it gets bloody too.
Oh, graphic. Too.
Oh, it's very, very graphic.
Nice. Okay.
Very graphic, but great movie.
Okay. All right. Once again, I think you've brought interesting movies to the table. I mean, makes me want to see these movies of yours.
I try. I hope.
You
I
always,
hope you will. I hope
you always have.
will.
Yeah, you guys. He's got good taste in movies, so you got to get this. You got to watch his stuff though. So, yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna have to watch that one too.
I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, I will. I'm sure I will. You guys, what do you guys think? Huh? Sound interesting? Yeah. All right.
All right. You know what? I think we've reached pretty much the end of the evening here. I do want to thank everyone, but I wanted to.
Yeah, I think. All right. I think they're getting Sam and Lama Ding Dong over, ready to already start mopping up the stage.
Yeah,
so.
we had to bring our own crew in. That's the problem with the Palace Hotel Ballroom is they don't have any crew. It's kind of a ghost crew that they have going on. So we had to bring our own crew from our own studio. So Sam and Lama Ding Dong's in the back, getting ready to sweep up.
And we're getting a look, so we should probably get.
Hey, Jim, let me know. All right, I got all cleaning up. Hey, come on.
All right. Relax.
All right. One thing I did want to mention before we cut out of here, I want to let our listeners know. As you know, obviously, this is our finale, season 2 finale. We will be making some changes for season 3. Looking forward to adding video to this, so you'll be able to find us. You can already find us on YouTube, but you'll be able to not just look at a still picture the whole time you listen to us on YouTube. You'll actually be able to see us live performing this podcast for you.
And realize we have faces for radio.
Right. Right.
So, but
we do have faces for radio.
Yeah. But hopefully you guys enjoy that too. So we're looking forward to that.
All right. And we had a wonderful time tonight.
Oh, yes. Thank you guys all for showing up here. This has been wonderful. And beyond my wildest dream, this everything happened like this tonight.
Yeah,
so
at the Palace Hotel Ballroom.
I know, right? This is where
Who would have thought it?
This is where they played.
I know.
The brothers, man.
Yeah. All right. We better get out of here.
All right,
Our limo's waiting.
Thank you very much. As always, sending a lot of love out to you people. Stay gold.
Bye-bye.
Gosh, that was so amazing! And Doug, I couldn't believe I ran into you!
Hey, do we know each other?
Yeah, we went to high school together. Oh my God, Doug,
Really?
you don't remember? Come on.
I don't remember much from the 80s.
When I seen you go up to the mic, I'm like, that's Doug! I remember Doug!
Wow.
Yeah, I know. You sounded so cool up there. I'm like, that's Doug for sure. So,
Well, thanks. You sounded pretty cool, too.
oh, stop. I was so nervous.
We should hang out sometime.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I can't believe you love these guys too. So,
Oh, these guys
I
are
know.
awesome.
I know. I wish. Oh, gosh. Maybe we could do something like these guys.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I know. I'm just so hyped up over everything.
I don't think we could handle doing what those two guys do.
Maybe you're right. Well, you know what? I've got to see Biscuits and Gravy, and I rug into you, Doug. I mean, come on, that's fantastic.
It's been a crazy night. Hey, Kyle, you wouldn't happen to be able to give me a ride, would you?
Oh, for sure.
Thanks, man.
I'm just parked down here. Hey, you want to go get a cup of coffee? Maybe a burrito?
Sure. Hey, you think I could fit my bike in the back of your car?
You know it. I actually have a bike rack, so it's perfect.
Wow.
This was meant to happen.
Yeah. Let's go get a coffee.
Let's go.